Hey everyone, hope you're well. Such a balanced day today. Hope everyone's trading's been good. I've not really taken many trades today. Nice glorious sweep here, right back up. Um, I've just got volume profile added on here from the previous stream, so I'm just going to do a video on this. So I'll cover some of this in the live, so you guys can see what is going on. So we'll bring up market profile full screen and we can have a look at what's going on. So this has been the week so far. Monday we balanced. We essentially had the stop run to the low, straight back up for balance, ended the day in a spike. And then we had the infamous CPI print where the market just went to the moon. Then we had a day where we've pulled off and a nice little bit of balance to end the week. So we will consolidate these for next week, but we're probably going to see that the market can easily take down this area, and we'll probably have a regain of prices going back down here. The reason being is there's just no value built up in the way here. So I'm interested to see what the market does this week. In the next couple of hours, the market, with the amount of volume that comes in, the market could very easily finish down in this range just by the last couple of hours where all the volume comes in. Is we're having, you know, some profit taking for the end of the week. So that's a market profile perspective. So if you guys are new to the stream, make sure and do all the YouTubey things for me. So this is what is happening on market profile land. Is the market going to go and reclaim this? And then we're going to look at volume profile here. So I'm going to, it's a bit wonky this chart honestly. I'm going to hide some of this because I think it's causing the chart to go a bit wonky. So okay, so the volume profile we've got it set up here. The red volume that's not out in value is the evening session, and then it just shows us the evening session or pre-market from the recent day, and then every other day that you see is for regular trading hours. And I have this also in the chart where the pink line is the start, pink vertical line is the start of regular trading hours, the white line is the close of play for a day, and the start of pre-market. So you can see if we simply, I'll just hide this. Let me just hide this Heikenash's chart so we can look at it. Okay. So this is just looking at the market simply from a volume profile perspective. We can see simply that for today's session we have spent the most time. Let me delete my little rectangles for sweeps and draw this out for you. So this is pretty much where for the whole day the market spent the most volume, is here. Okay, this was the low volume area of yesterday where we've swept and the market is now back above that, trying to reclaim the point of control for the day. And if we scroll back up here, this is yesterday's regular trading hours where the point of control is here. We have a low volume area here, and I'll need to slightly adjust this. We'll run through all of the settings in this in the video that's going to be coming out tomorrow, but there's tons of ways you can do this for scaling. Okay, but it just allows you to view the market in a specific way. So whereabouts is the market perceiving value in terms of the most volume traded? So we will put the Aganashi back on to see what's happening. So let's see if the market's going to completely reclaim this, or are we going to see at least a bounce from this high volume area? Slightly disappointing if we just finish there, but at the end of the day, when you've got real balance like this, you're just fading the extremes, right? This one was a nice stop run though. We come down there, quite aggressive, right down to the initial balance extension. And look at this, we've got some size just sitting at the point of control. So we're then going to see some chop when we do get up here. It's going to take a lot for the market just to absolutely break right through here, to be honest. We'll definitely see some more chop. Let's see how the market reacts getting to the highest point of control. You can almost say for sure that the market's going to stop around about these prices here, just with how the amount of volume that's been conducted. We've had the guts of 100,000 contracts across these three prices today, which is crazy. 100,000 contracts through these prices, crazy. That's a lot. Absolutely tearing. This is nice. Let's see the high of day. Let's see if we're going to get one last little sweep for the session, which would be here. So let me know what you've been trading, guys. Do you take any positions? Are you frustrated? This is one of these days that if you've been trying to go for breakouts, you must have had a bad day. This is all about recognizing what day you're in. Same reason, if the market's one time framing, you shouldn't be fading the trend. If the market's in balance, you should not be trying breakouts. You just get stuffed. You know, now we're back at POC. The only next probability is going to be, or at least edge that I think there's going to be, is if the market goes up into my little, rectangle, which is going to be the low volume area of today, and then we fade back into the POC. But now we're at POC. This is where the basically the market makers and people with much more money than what we do and more money at their disposal, this is where they shine. Just going from bid to offer, bid to offer. So when you had your opportunity, if the market broke here and you bought this, you took a stop out, but then after some more reversals put in here and you took you'd had to take this trade and have a stop round about this area. Now you've just been paid handsomely if you're still fading, if you faded the extreme. I'm just going to run through the positions that I took today. Let me turn off sim mode and I'll go to trade. show show order fills, which was here. So we took some short positions here and we got out here. That was our trades today. Actually, the yellow lines was the area we had for the sweep this morning. The market swept. There was so if you guys have market replay, have a look. Have a look at the amount of absorption and size that was absorbed up here at pre-market. It was ridiculous. There was for pre-market there was like 2-3k contracts or something just absorbed at this price, which is a lot for pre-market standards across those prices. And then we had this sell-off, and here's where was my exit. Exit a little bit premature. I got out some here. I got out here, and that's been me done for the day, to be honest. So it was relatively straightforward. Nice easy day. It's nice to make your money before all the carnage happens. So there's not exactly too much going on, to be honest with you. Are you guys in any positions at the moment for what you're taking? Let me know what you've got on and what you're looking at. I mean, if we take the chart calculator, the range today from absolute low to high, you know, I've got 83 ticks. You know, but mostly the market's been in this sort of range today, just at point of control. So we've pretty much been in, you know, a 20 tick range for the whole day. So not very exciting. And we'll draw the exact price and see if we can get there. So 25.50, 25 and a half. It's literally the same price. Let's see what happens if we get a sweep around about this sort of area here, where the yellow lines are, and where a little rectangle is. If the market does get there, we're bound to see some profit taken after this, right? There's no way people are going to start buying into the point of control, to be honest. We just need to see some slight fuckery before market close, but we've got an hour left where all the volume's going to come in, right? And then I'm just going to bring up since we're at the point of control here, nothing crazy going to happen. We're going to look at what's happened to treasuries. The treasury market has basically been straight down today. If you're just first starting, this is probably the market or markets you should cut your teeth in. Is the treasury market. It's very, very hard to go bust trading treasuries, to be honest with you. The reason being is this market has moved, you know, we'll call it 25 ticks today, and each tick is, you know, about 16 bucks rounded up for ZN, and it's the thickest market in the world. I mean, look at the amount on the bid and offer here versus NQ. It's crazy. So it tends to be slightly more trendy, and there's not as many sweeps of prices just because of how thick it is. It's not as erratic. You're not seeing, you know, the market, you know, dump 20 ticks and then, you know, end up where it started. It just doesn't operate that way. It's just a bit more of a cleaner market just because it flows straight away. Then you've got the correlations, the same as equities. You know, this is the 2, 5, the 30 year, and 10 is the 30 year bond. We've got the 2, 5, and 10 year notes here. So these tend to work hand in hand and they are correlated to a degree. So like everything, why we have for equities, we have the four markets up. These markets are correlated at the same time, and correlations are extremely important. So this market, if nothing's really happening, I tend to see if we can see any trades come up, but we're already at IBL extension 2, so I expect more than likely a fade back up into POC at this point. A little bit of profit taking for the weekend. I need to drag this across because we can't actually see the price. It's not very often it's that thick, you know, it's crazy. So we'll go back to equities and see what's happening. Let's see, does anyone predict that we're going to, what do we think is most likely going to happen for close of play here? Do we think we're going to sweep end back at the POC, or do we think we're going to break one way to close the week in a spike? Everyone cast their votes. Hope you guys will be looking forward to the volume profile video that's coming out. We'll run through the main concepts of it, what you're looking for. We'll run through how to configure delta on the DOM, and as well as volume profile, and as well as on a standard chart, and then split it into different sessions for you as well. If you've not joined the Discord, here it's here. There'll be a link in the description or in the About Us section if you want to join. We've got tons of like-minded traders in here. It's free. We don't charge you a bean. All I ask you for is your time and to check out the value that we're trying to provide you. Sadly, there's not a huge amount to talk about when the markets are in, in here, to be honest. So it would be time to potentially ask questions of what you want to look at for order flow. You got any questions of what you're seeing? You know, we've got the standards MBO data here that's very important, where these orders likely are going to act as places where the market will stop, and you never know how much size is going to be behind them, and you will instantly get to see when they're pulled. So if whoever's put out this 100 lot here presses cancel, this order will be pulled. No other contracts on the bid and offer here are greater than 50. So notice if the market does get aggressive and hits into the bid, for example, you will see that the algorithms, for example, and market makers will pull price. That's why these constantly refresh. So sometimes you need to think of, here you'll see someone's just added, then it's been pulled. So this price here, someone has continually added onto this, but it was not showing. So we're just seeing a continual rotation around the POC here, but we'll clear this. But you need to sometimes think is like, right, are they going to be pulling orders because none of these are of a decent size? And if you had thousands of contracts to execute, right, you're not going to just, you know, show your full hand, are you? Because you're then giving up your hand. It would basically be like turning your cards around in poker and telling everyone what you've got. No one's going to do that, right? So this price again, the guy reloaded 200. He's now absorbing another 273 at the moment. So we've got a nice little iceberg showing. So this guy's absorbed 500 in the last minute or so. So we'll see if the market breaks this price, you should see a little skip through it if it can break, but he's managed to hold so far. There's 22 evens, so there we go, there's a little push right through. That guy's absorbed 800 contracts in one go. Tick back down, let's see if it's more. Yeah, this is like a wall here. So if they do manage to break through this iceberg, you should see price pop. But it needs to break through by a couple of ticks, at least. So we've now had, you know, over 1,000 contracts absorbed in the space of 3 prices here. And the delta is plus 500. So on this price, it's just been buying. The markets are so thick these days and just not a real lot of movement, to be honest. It's not ideal. So buyers are trying to crack through here, but they just cannot seem to do it. If NQ can pop up and break through this order here, we should see a spike, but then we'll probably boost up, touch this order here, and then potentially tick back down a little bit, likely. We've had that tick, so the market's then absorbed all those prices, then the market dropping there wasn't necessarily a lot of selling, it's just been that the bid has been pulled. Notice how weak the bid is now. This is what I was saying, is you've got to sometimes think that these orders here are fake, you know. But you need to see how price reacts at there, okay? There's a 200 absorbed here. Nothing's truly going to happen here, but this is the type of way you need to be looking at the order flow coming in and thinking to yourself, okay, 1,000 contracts absorbed here. You know, the market's ticked down. It's not been a huge amount of size it's been sold into. It's just the bid has been pulled, so it's weak. But then the trouble is, for the short, you then need to get through the point of control. So the risk to reward is not great. The risk to reward becomes appealing here if you then get to sweep the high. You see that same type of behavior, and then you ultimately get a sell-off, and then the bid's been pulled, coupled with the correlation, right? Because then you can potentially be targeting down here, and you've got maybe 15, 18 ticks, probably 20 ticks from if you get filled around about this range. You can see all the amount of buying delta coming in here. So we'll see if they can crack. Be interesting to see how the market reacts for this 100 order, to see if it's going to be pulled or not. Or if it's just going to slice right through it. NQ's bidding. We're going to clear here and see. Remember, there's been a couple thousand contracts traded at these prices, which sellers are still willing to get involved here. But then if we do crack here and we get through this price, the next target's going to be, what is quite interesting, if the market cracks here with some size and then we get up, if the market goes into here quite volatile, and when it does, it tends to exaggerate it a little bit, and then we see a little it's better if the market goes aggressive into a level, to be honest with you. Seeing YM and NQ pretty much just at the highs, so NQ's just popped, so there we go. Let's see if how we're going to react if we get to here. Buyers are still absorbing this price. You see a lack of volatility there is today, man. The market's moving up on ES like 2 ticks and then back down 2 ticks. There's just no real clean movement. And on this push up here, it's been very slow. You know, it's not like quick, easy movement. Your trades have been a little bit more painful, to be honest. I mean, if anyone is holding through this POC, they've got balls of steel. To be honest, I would never be holding through, through this. So, if anyone any questions about what you're seeing, so I'm hoping we do get up here so we can have some reference points, to be honest. But at the moment, we then seen those 2-3 thousand contracts absorbed. Now we're just seeing more. If the bid does start to get pulled here, then we're back down to the POC. So the bid has been pulled. Let's see if they can crack through here. Hmm. This is looking pretty strong here. There we go. We notice how that instantly ticked off that price. It's always going to happen the first time it hits it. It's very common. So we're seeing at the moment all this buying, not a lot of selling, and the offer has been pulled as well as the bid has been stacked. Buyers are really starting to try and get involved here. If they can crack this level, then we're going to target here pretty quickly. Here we go. Just by the straight order flow, the bid is completely stacked and the offer's been pulled. Let's see if they can clean this level. Notice how they swept up through that and they swept away down as well. Just crazy. And this is the trouble with the sweep, right? You know, you tend to not always get it. Someone's happy to, wow, there's a lot of selling come in there. Just about to say someone's happy to absorb at that price, and we've just seen a lot of selling come in. We've just now broke out of value for the session, so that's where you're going to see people protecting the value area high region. There we go. Bid been pulled. Sigh. Value area protected. No sweep. Buyers can, if sellers can get through this level here, buyers again are holding. Market is like watching paint dry at the minute, to be honest. I should have probably just tuned in for the last 30 minutes for where there's actually going to be volume. But we could still see a sweep of the high here. There's the sweep. So we had the look at our lovely little rectangle again. Glorious sweep there. This has then been pulled and the trade is pretty much over. I think your 10 ticks will be down here. As I said, I have already done for the session, so not wanting to turn a good green day into a red day and push it for the sake of it, especially basically an hour before close. But that was a nice little setup. Gave you some easy trades. It was painless. The bid was pulled as well. You know, so it was the first hit of that level, and then you normally get a retracement. Now, typically, if the market wants to go up and do a little aggressive stop run, and then we have a classic back into value, back down to the POC. Now, don't get me wrong, in the next 30 minutes, there could be the market could end all the way down here, to be honest, with the amount of volume that's going to come in. It could go crazy. So there was a lot of negative delta here for this one price. We'll see if the market is going to hold this level, or we're going to sweep some more and then revert back. Buyers are still a little bit happy to absorb here. This is why when it first hits a level, you need to keep your stops relatively tight and targets. If anyone's got any questions about what they're seeing, just let me know in the comments. But let's see if we can aggressively hit this level. So someone was happy to absorb here. The market's ticked down. We've got the bid thickening. Let's see if this is going to continue. We need NQ to pop here for this to break. We're seeing YM also at the highs. Fellas are still happy to absorb again. So that's been negative 3,400 here. It's a big imbalance at this one price. There we go. NQ's leading the way down. If it can drop more, then we should see a little push back down to this 23 evens. Bit of absorption here and an NQ at 50-60 contracts at one price is quite a bit for NQ standards anyway, considering it swept a price with one contract. So let's see if it can crack. There's 100 plus absorbed at these three prices at 33 evens. The market needs to break 33 evens here with a bit of punch for ES to drop. Same with YM. Or the Dow. I think NQ is going to be the one. Just keep an eye on these 33 evens. It's going to need to break that with some size. We need some size here to come in. See, still absorbing. NQ works over a few prices. Let's see if I can hit some size now. This will tick down. It's trying. If this ticks down aggressively, we should see the bid being pulled here. Russell is also at the POC as well, to be honest. There we go, the bid was pulled, offer reloaded. NQ is jumping now. ES is not really following suit. This should be dropping quite aggressively now with how we're seeing YM tick down. See the market reacts at this 23 evens price where the 71 lots are printed. Needs to get through this level. 23 3/4, someone is still absorbing. Some size comes in here and pops, this will jump off here, but there we go, another rectangle classic. Happens all day, every day. But again, that's all you should be really be taking, to be honest with you. You know, these are taking 10 ticks, hit it with a couple of contracts, you're done for the day. You know, you only need one of these. You had today the three glorious opportunities was pre-market. We had with the market come up here in pre-market. You know, we swept the highs, then we sold off. That was the first indication or the first trade setup. Now I don't think this one swept, but the next one has been here. It gave a glorious sweep. Now you took a bit of heat here, but depending on your entry. And then it's just gave you a sweep here for another little 10 ticks. And that should be done for the day. There's been three main setups today on this. And we can see this was an overnight high where it's respecting the initial balance high, which is normally, considering we've been super imbalance, is going to act as a wall plus there's a sweep. But there's tons of confluence with these trades at this time. But as I said, if you've already had a green day, there's no point pushing the barrel out. Just end your week in the green, you know. Anyone that's really trading at this time on a Friday is probably chasing. More likely chasing the losses. But did you trade it yesterday? Did you have any positions in this? This is the pre-market volume profile. This is the regular trading hours. I thought I'd have this up as I'm going to release a video on this and how to trade it, what to look out for. We're going to cover delta and we're going to cover the volume profile on the DOM. I'm going to release the video tomorrow about it, which I've been working on. But this is pretty much it. You're looking for sweeps at swing points. You're waiting for order flow to confirm it by seeing absorption when it comes to those areas, and you want to see some size coming in. You want to see some imbalances, icebergs if that's if they are spotted, you know, and also you want to see some correlations happening, and that's pretty much it. It's nothing super fancy, and keep your stops tight and take when it's what's on the table, you know. Take your base hits. 20-30 ticks a day if you're copying multiple accounts or copying across your personal accounts is it's easy money. You don't need to be putting 200-300 tick days in or whatever. And I personally prefer to trade ES just simply because the order flow is thicker. you know, it's a little bit more forgiving than NQ. If you're on the wrong side of NQ, you know about it very quickly, to be honest. And the market probably fills out, you know, the same order flow can be seen at a tick versus NQ. It takes probably a point. So no problem, man. How did your day go today? Did you did you take any positions? Yeah, relatively relaxed day today. I didn't trade pretty much any of the chop after market open. So, but this was a great setup right now. We draw our little lines, little rectangle come into play. We saw absorption and about 300 negative delta at the 20, 25 and three quarters. And now we're just seeing the bid being pulled. It's going to be held up. Someone here is just flashing 50 lots, so the market's going to need some size, so we should see it rotate off here, which it is, does it all the time. He's then printing these as well. So we'll see if these are going to be pulled. We'll see if this is a little bit of a game for him to try and get out here, because the market always bids up off these, right? And we'll see, once it's done, we'll see if these are going to be pulled. Let's see the play. So that 167 I think was pulled. We're going to clear here. This dude could potentially trying to be getting out, because they've just flashed that. They flashed 167 there pulled, and they've got 50 across, and it's here again as well. The sellers are still happy to take it, right? There's been negative 711 delta at this price. So we'll see. The market needs to. We'll see what happens and if these orders are actually going to be filled or are real or not. But thanks for asking though, man. I'm good. I am good. Nice, nice green day to end the week. No real mental capital done. It was quite a painless trade. I think it was maybe a little bit longer hold time than normal. It's maybe 10 minutes, but that's to be expected in pre-market, you know. Pre-market, you're never gonna get the same amount of volume. So let's see if these orders. I'm really intrigued to see if they're going to be pulled. To be honest, that was instantly taken by the buyers. We're going to trade a lot out here. We've got 120 bid, 51 offered. So these dudes are fighting out, 1,000 contracts between them here. Notice those 50s have just been pulled. Those 50s are gone. So now it's get easier free fall because whoever was doing this is pretty much now out of the position. So do you see the manipulation game there? They flashed 50 so that other people would try and front run and catch the bid, right? And now we'll notice if sellers can hold this price, but they're just engineering liquidity here, right? If they didn't flash and cause this bid up, the market maybe have hit lower, you know? His algorithms are effectively there to try and hold price up when there's size behind them, right? If they can get a queue position advantage, and they can try and get out in the on the offer if they get filled. So notice these prices up here is we're either going to bash through here quite aggressively. So we've seen 315 executed at the bid. Markets went down, ticked back up. Buyers are trying hard here. There's some size coming in. instantly tick down. We're going to clear. There we go. There's 100 flashed. Taken, so traded, so sellers took it straight away. Now the bid has been pulled. Let's see if this full 100 gets traded or not. It's reloaded. Still holding. A little bit of a battle between buyers and sellers here. Someone's continually refreshing this 24.5. Look at this dude flashing this 50 lot. What's this gonna do? Okay, notice the price. Remember notice the and note the price where these 50 lots were, right? So what will be interesting to see is they were saying I'm willing to buy here, but there's nothing now showing on the bid and offer until here, so no one is showing their hand. Now we'll see if NQ can dump here. Let's see if the market can cut through these prices. But there's been absorption here, 267 lift the offer at this price absorbed, tick down. So in order for the market to pull back here and go back down to the POC, if you notice that whoever is absorbing on the bids, they need to start pulling, to be honest. You know, you've got a bit of a battle going on here. Now you're going to need some size to come in, you're going to need the bid to be pulled, and then correlation for NQ to drop. Where Russell is doing nothing. So you'll notice when the bid is pulled, it will start drilling in, it will start skipping prices. It's currently just refreshing across 3 prices at the minute. You could enter here, but you know, ultimately when the market's consolidating at the highs here, it is a little bit more high risk. You want to ideally be entering as the bid has been pulled, so that you're not having to sit through this, to be honest, because this could easily run the highs at the minute is another little sweep, and then you would see the bid been pulled. Because right now there's just huge size being executed, you know. So you want to see if sellers come in, you want to see these orders been pulled instead of constant refreshing. So there's 130 there executed on the offer. Okay, we want to see this been pulled. So 60's just been pulled, then refreshed. So it's pulled for a second and then refreshed. This needs to crack. Someone is again continuing to refresh at 24.5, which is the price they were prior. Let's see if they're done. They're not done. So someone is purposely holding up this price. You know, they've absorbed hundreds of contracts here. So this one player or firm, if this can crack here, then we're going to go down. You know, they're still absorbing. But there's a real battle going on. There we go. So now you want to see this drilling motion in, and you want to see whoever was absorbing there needs to be gone. And if NQ can hit the floor, we should see some cutting in. So we just saw 86 contracts pulled. Yep, all these orders are pulled. Everything, all the hundreds here. There's 100 here, and only 72 is was traded. So they just pulled the bid massively on the way down there. And that's typically what happens when size comes in. All these orders are not real. They're just algorithms and market makers bumping up the prices, right? For the queue position. So we're going to clear and see. We'll get clear the delta as well. So we want to see if this is going to continue on or not. So someone is now absorbing here. Yeah. See, they're back. See if this bid can be pulled. And it flashed again, instantly taken. So sellers are instantly taking that 50 lot. Can you imagine how difficult this would be to get rid of size? You know, there's a lot of selling in here, not a huge lot of buying, to be honest. There's been about 1,000 negative delta across these prices. If this bid would go away, we're gonna hit the POC. But it's been a nice pullback, to be honest. But the more you stare at this, the more you see the sort of well, I'm not going to call it manipulation because it's not. The more you see the sort of game theory around what's happening on the DOM, you know, the chaps, how they flash these prices, the engineers liquidity for price to go bid, they're doing it again right now. That makes it go up 3 ticks. You know, 3 ticks on size is a lot. So there we go. They're flashing, you know, 300 contracts here on one price, and this should probably cause the market to tick up a few. Let's see if the sellers are going to go and instantly take all of these. Clear. You've got to really concentrate when you're watching order flow, specifically around when you're getting into an entry. You know, all of this absorption and price is happening. Wow. Jeez. That was aggressive hitting into the bid there. That's about 1,600 contracts, negative delta just traded. That was a huge, that was one clip. I've got this here on the, you know, the yellow bubbles here that I'm showing at the top left. That was one clip that hit that. If I bring up the time and sales, we'll be able to see that. But I have this marked, so that was probably about 400 contracts potentially in one clip that come in there. It was not split up orders. So if someone is ready to dump that off there, right? Someone is continually buying or flashing these prices. You're going to need NQ to dump off here in order for this to go down. But it's a little bit alarming for the sellers, to be honest, the fact that dude is just thrown in some size. The market's, you know, ticked down 3 ticks aggressively, then went offered, and now you're seeing them reload again, you know. When your sellers start getting aggressive again, then this is going to go, but it's not fantastic considering how much they're flashing here. Instantly taken as well. Someone's really getting the bid off here. You know, there's about 500 contracts flashed. This is not that common, to be honest with you. So let's see if the full 250 is real and it gets traded enough is going to be pulled. There's another 250. Wow. Okay, so full sellers taking it instantly. he's printed another 250. They're really trying to hold this market up here. If NQ drops lower, it'll take it. That was pulled. If you notice there, only 111 traded and 116. There was 250 there. They just pulled those orders. Sneaky. So those orders are pulled. If sellers continually get aggressive here, we're going to need NQ to drop. We're seeing Russell drop and YM's kind of in the middle of the range. We want to see some action. We've got 11 minutes left of the action, but sellers are now getting aggressive. The bid is pulled, NQ is dropping. If the bid is pulled, we'll see some price flow down to the POC. So see, this is the thing, it's aggressive hitting into the bid, but then they're not pulling. Yep, full traded, ticked back up. Let's see if they can continue through. Yep. This is just so balanced, right? Everyone is just trying to get orders off at the moment, you know. Oh, there we go. NQ's the one that's leading, dropping right back down to this price. Let's see, we should probably tick off 3. Yep. And then again. See, this is where all these balance days, man, you need to take your money quick, you know. Starting to see a little boost now in volume instantly in the next 15 minutes is going to be a lot of volume come in. I would like to see if we can sweep or do something cool. And then let's watch the order flow again. I'd advise you guys to watch how to read the DOM and then really glue yourself in. I need to watch this for a month or so and really understand what they're doing, but you need to have the tools and the data to be able to do it, right? And the intuition, to be honest, which is the hardest part. You are your edge in trading, not a random strategy, that's for sure. Okay, let's see if we can get a little sweep here with the size. That would be interesting. Are we going to end this week in a spike? Because if you guys learned from yesterday's session, the market can go one way, but then in the next 10 minutes with the amount of volume that can come in, it's going to be wild. I'm not normally a breakout guy, but how this has went down here and the bid has been weak, you know, buying this and potentially having a nice sweep would be relatively appealing. But the market can go either way. We don't preempt, we only react here. So we're going to clear. Everything's back up at the highs. Let's see. Buyers are going to have their 4th or 5th attempt here. They're probably going to clear it this time, you would like to think. It's more like a wall. We've hit it here once, twice, 3 times. This is the 4th time. You'd like to think that there's been enough inventory guard here for them to sweep a few prices, you know. Especially down here, because people would have steamed in to this short. Now they know they're offside, the market's going to punish them who jumped in short here. And if you don't get out prior to that, if you steamed in short here, you know, when your entry should have been up here, now you're getting punished. Then the market will sweep, the volume is going to come in the next 7 minutes, and it's going to be, you know, they're still flashing here. Notice they're trying to keep this price up. If NQ pops higher, this will break. And I mean, what you want to see if there is to be a sweep is you want to see price blast through here with some aggression, and then you want to just see it tick off and pull right back and like snap back is what you want to see. So we'll clear. We need to clear this and then refresh. So we're only seeing buying at the minute. So notice how the bid is continually refreshed. Sellers need to get really aggressive to drive price down. For a learning point, I would rather this swept so that we can discuss it, rather than just coming back up here again for like the fifth time and then fading back down to the POC. But again, 6 minutes to carnage. I see there's a number of people watching, and you may not have subscribed or liked the stream. If you could do so, please, that would be much appreciated. There's three things beside your finger or your mouse. There's a like button, there's a subscribe, and there's a little bell. Do me a favour and hit them all. That would be greatly appreciated. It helps the channel massively. It's free to you, but it makes a big difference for me to continue to put content out for you. So I'd appreciate that. Oh, okay. We saw the market went offered there, hit this price, instantly went bid. So a little mini sweep within here. Wow, look at the size coming in. The bid has been pulled. Come on, I want us to. This is. They're going the opposite way here. This is not normal. One's out of whack right now. This NQ dropping and ES rising at the same time does not happen. One's out of whack. Which one is it going to be? Probably NQ, to be honest. Yep. Yep. See that there? That is very, very rare. That was out of whack. You know. So we're not even getting a one tick sweep. Come on, give us the sweep. We want some action. We want to see some stops, but then we're doing the classic. You know, NQ's now hitting the bid. There we go. Bid's pulled. Now let's clear this and see. Notice the orders that are printed here and see if they actually get traded. YM's off the highs. It's going bid as well, hitting into the bid. So ES needs to clear this price. NQ's trying hard to go lower. Someone again reloading this price, honestly. See, do you know it's the amount of times they've done this? They've literally, the market has been down at this price in this area, I think 4 times in this rotation. It's just in this micro range, like from my rectangle to rectangle, you know, and they've continually reflashed, you know, little mini sweeps inside. And I think in the next 3 minutes here, I still think they're getting primed here to sweep the highs, you know. They're continually flashing the bid. They try and engineer the liquidity to go higher and then just sweep back into value. So we'll see what happens over the next 3 minutes because the volume is going to go crazy. So NQ is dumping a lot. God, NQ is wild. Such a crazy asset. I don't know how you guys can trade NQ order flow if you do. Give me a heart attack, honestly. Trading is stressful enough without trading that thing. Look at it. The spread is wild. The white boxes, by the way, is like the inside print for the bid and offer. You know, it's like the best bid and the best ask. Whereas NQ, you're always the same. It's just much cleaner to read. Even YM and and the Russell are slightly easier. But they're still doing this. They're still doing the flashing on ES anyway. Notice all this buying here though. So all this buying has been absorbed. We've seen about 1,000 contracts just absorbed since the last refresh. So it simply means if NQ can hit the bid here and this is pulled, if they can crack whoever this firm is that is just wanting to buy the world here, you know, who is literally causing this market to tick up, this one firm that's been flashing here, and now we're seeing the sweep that's going to happen. Okay, we've got, this is going to be interesting. Right before the minute as well, this is going to crack here with some size. All the buying coming in, there we go, there's the sweep. How much are they going to drive it? They're trying to get out here as well. So now they've swept to high, they want to try and get out of these levels. There we go, the market's now is 1 minute left, 30 seconds. So I bet you if, as soon as we take out these levels, you know, we're probably going to tick back down 4 or 5 ticks. This will be the same firm that was flashing here, who's engineered all this liquidity to try and get all these orders out here. You know, now we're probably going to end up ticking back down. Yeah, and that was the same again. Let's see if they can continue here. All this buying has just been absorbed. 2,000 contracts absorbed at these prices. If NQ drops here, then we're back in the range. Yeah, honestly, man, it's like fucking clockwork, you know. And it was this dude firm that was engineering this who was the one that smashed it up the way to then essentially continue flash the offer with the 100 contracts. They've just engineered all this liquidity. They've the one that's just caused all of this, and now we're then back. This is order flow. This is how the market works, and don't let anyone else tell you any different. Okay, this is exactly what they do all day, every day. And here's the fucking kicker, guys. Right? You would do the exact same. If you had thousands and billions of pounds at your disposal, you would do the exact same. You know, because you can't just go and press buy one contract. You know, you have to think about, right, whereabouts can I get my fills? Whereabouts can I generate and get the most money for it? And I'm working the bid and offer, which means I'm working both sides of the market. They are not, we can't hedge, you know, in the same trading account. But guess what? They are having client accounts and their own firms. They're working the bid and offer. So they can take both sides of the market like they're doing. Oh, really? No, I appreciate it, man. It's just me, you know, sort of dictating the flow. But I've been looking at these charts, man, for so long that this is it. I draw these little fucking rectangles, man, and this is exactly just where the market's going to sweep. I could tell this is going to happen because this company or firm or whoever it is has been continually flashing to engineer people buying. Because what market makers are doing right now, I can't tell you if it's a market maker or a large firm or it's fucking Goldman Sachs. You know, I can't tell you that. However, market makers are this is their job. They get filled on the bid, they're out in the offer. Filled in the bid, out in the offer. Filled in the offer, out in the bid. That's all they're doing. They're there to take the cheap trades, free money. And when you see all this price stacked here and market starts hitting aggressively into it, they're pulled. You know, they start pulling their offers. For example, there was 100 there a minute ago. We're now down, you know, it's been refreshed, but orders are constantly pulled. So these orders down here might not be real. The biggest order in these probably 15 prices is this dude with 50 contracts flashing, you know, and this guy's basically saying no one's getting above me because I am laying out some size. So the company that's doing this is most likely the market making firm because they've got prices across, they've got bids and offers out on every price. There's another one that's flashed, right? And what they're doing now is they're now saying, right guys, I'm willing to sell here, so you need to jump in and let's start hitting the bid aggressively, you know. So let's see if they can engineer liquidity. This is probably the same company, right? And same firm, whatever way you want to cut it, same market maker who was flashing the bid here. Notice the bid is no longer being flashed right now with 50 lots, right? They're now flashing and now showed up again at the same price. So we're going to see how this reacts and how this works. But this is what these guys do, you know. They drive price up and they're trying to engineer liquidity so they can get more people to come in. They stop people out. And I'm not. This is not like get this away that this is manipulated. This is not ICT. This is not fair value gaps, and this is not about turning an algo on, right? This is actually how the market works. Okay, truly. No random big candle because it's left a weird gap or whatever is some imbalance. How are you going to know if it's an imbalance if you don't know the size that's been traded at the price? You know, orders may have been pulled. If orders have been pulled, it will skip the price. It doesn't mean a lot's been traded, right? So you need to know at a granular level what's been happening. But I've been calling here for the last hour, right? That when the liquidity comes in at 9 o'clock, or sorry, 4 p.m., we're likely to see the sweep of this level, which is my little, random box that I've drawn, and I draw at every swing point because that's where you're about to see action. This one simply was me drawing the point of control, but there was an indication that that was going to happen due to the fact that the bid was been flashed continuously, right? And now this is pretty much the end of session. Nothing is going to happen. The liquidity injection has already happened. It's 5 minutes past. Now we're probably just going to see the market either balance here or we're just going to probably trickle down the way. But we're going to struggle to break, I'll draw these lines. We're going to struggle to break here and we're going to struggle to break this sort of range, And then, even if we do manage to somehow magically get above, if we go copy and move, we're going to struggle to break here. This is pretty much the sort of range that the market's going to end in. Let me just copy and move and then down to the POC. This is it, you know. Market goes up here, it's going to have a hard time because this dude is pretty much wanting to get filled here. I would be surprised if they're going to be pulled. You've got this dude here and then other ones that are going to come in, you know. So that's pretty much it. You can sort of decide whereabouts people are going to start throwing their orders in, and then when you've got correlations thrown in there, this becomes extremely powerful, right? Russell's actually the one that's leading at the minute, which is, it's been lagging all day. YM is not doing anything, it's pulled up off the highs. Mm-mm. So feel free to ask any questions if you got them. So that's pretty much the market. Hope it makes sense. I've got some videos that are linked in the description for you guys. Essentially tells you how to read the DOM in more depth. There's some live trade examples videos as well. I'm currently working on a volume profile video, so you can add it to your charts. This is regular trading hours. I've got pre-market session as well. I typically remove pre-market after the most recent day because I no longer give a shit about it, to be honest. But see, they're just capping the range now, right? I noticed the volume is now absolutely hit the floor. But classic, man. Same shit, different day. You just need to be. I like these balanced days. It's relatively straightforward. It's just did it all day. Did it at the open, did it down here, it's carried out here, and you need to just take one of these trades a day, and then keep your downsides maintained and watch order flow, and be ready to pounce when you see this. The fact that the market's going aggressive into these levels, fuck these guys. You know what they're planning on doing, and you've got an idea. How are you able to sort of predict these reversal levels? Because these are areas, right, where stops are going to be. Every single person that's been short, right, in here, whereabouts are the stops going to be? Where have you been told when you've learned trading, you put it above the nearest swing high, and effectively large traders then need to get to these points so that they can exit their positions because they've been working the bid and offer all day, you know, and they then get to exit their longs up here, and they get to enter fresh shorts, and other people are also waiting for this so they can aggressively hit into the bid, and then next thing you know, you're down 10 ticks in 10 seconds, and that's you done for the trade. When you're correct with order flow, right, you are instantaneously correct. You will know about it, and if you time it properly, which I'm trying to get you guys. I actually been doing this for years, and it's very hard to time. It's like an art, to be honest with you. You know, um, and you need loads of things in your favor because we can't move the market. When you're selling, you need a confluence of, all equities going down. You need the bid to be being pulled, and you need sellers to be coming in aggressively and chewing through prices. If you can have a combo of those three things, the correlation, the bid being pulled, and aggressive selling, and that's also shown in delta here, then you're going to see a capitulation much quicker. And then it's just flipped to the other side. You need to see the offer being pulled. You need to see the whole market tick up. We've got the middle line here to help you see, where the sort of middle line is and what's happening across these markets as if they move in tandem. So like right now, NQ's at the POC, you know, whereas ES is the one that's leading. So likely if NQ drops some more, then likely ES will drop down a few ticks, for example. But you need all these things to happen in confluence to give you that sort of instant painless trade, you know. And this also allows you to try and hit trades with a wee bit more size than you would because your stops are really tight. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to check the questions because I've been rambling. So I do apologise if I've been missing any of them. Oh, sorry, I'm just seeing your setup. You got to be here more regularly. Do you stream every day? Hey, buddy. Yeah. So I do. I try to. So I like to commentate what's going on. I like to discuss what I'm seeing in the market, and this, believe it or not, this is actually very taxing to do this. Trading is taxing. I can't do this all day, and it's hard to entertain, you know, and discuss markets and execute at the same time. Because when I'm trading, and if it's for a couple hours a day, I am absolutely zoned in at this DOM, and I've got an idea with my with volume profile. Where are we at in the bigger picture? For example, with market profile, and I am really zoned in as to what's going on at these prices. So it's quite taxing because if I was to try and trade this, I want to come on here and try and execute trades, but to be honest with you, it's hard because I normally, when I'm trading, I'm zoned in at this, and I'm not really discussing it, and it's boring because I'm really concentrating, right? So it's easier to discuss, and I hope my objective of this channel, and this is the thing, you're probably, if this is your first time here, you're noticing that this is not your standard YouTube channel, right? I'm not here to start editing shit and give you a daily vlog of what trading is like. I actually trade the markets, you know. I'm doing this to try and build a community, to try and teach people a different perspective in the market, because 99% of what you see in YouTube is just absolute fucking nonsense, you know. Um, you hear draw, I could tell people, right, here's a supply zone, and here's a demand zone. Fucking great. That provides absolutely no context to anything. Drawing it, what makes my box better than your box? Do you know what I mean? There's you need to know the order flow behind it. And if you're a critical thinker, right, and you're a contrarian person, you would want to know what the hell's behind these candlesticks, right? Or Heikenhashi sticks. You know, what's behind them? What makes the market move? What are large firms actually interested in, right? And if you had tons of contracts to execute, that's the number one thing you need to remember. If you had tons of contracts to execute, where would you execute them? Because it's not the same game. They're not playing the same game. You must have heard the most classic saying where, you should put your entry where your stop would be. And I know that's very cliche, but it's very true. But it's because the market goes to swing points, and sometimes you hit them more aggressively. We've just come up to this swing point, hit it aggressively, but everyone's stops have been triggered that was short, you know. And the same down here, we hit the overnight low where everyone's longs would have been. We hit it through aggressively, and then we instantly went bid. It's like this all the time. It does this on, this is a 5 minute chart. It does this on the 1 hour, does it on the 4 hour, does it on every single time frame, right? But the reason why we're not swing trading here, we're order flow trading, and we want to see exactly when that market sweeps that high. For example, down here, right? You want to see what the market's doing when price gets down here. Is the bid still been pulled? And when the market gets down here, you would instantly see a wall, and the market then start reversing. You need to see a snapback for that, and then your stop is then below the low, you know. And then if the market shits itself more, then you're out, you know. However, when you time these correctly, you're instantly correct. You've pretty much got maybe even a couple of ticks of drawdown, because this would have come down and you'd have instantly hit it, you know. But this is the thing, sometimes they're more aggressive when there's more volume and it's the middle of regular trading hours. They hit these levels more aggressive, you know, because you have big stop runs, and everyone's just expecting, because the market has just went to the moon this week, everyone is going long, you know. And also, to top it off, you've got profit taking that needs to happen as well, you know. So it's a double whammy. So yeah, so I try and trade every day, man. I normally trade the PM session. I miss out on a lot of the volume there, but when the market's a little bit slower, it's easy for me to commentate on what's going on. I typically trade equities, but if the market is, not conducive of a day, I'll trade treasuries, and I'll quickly flip to them. So treasuries is basically the thickest markets in the world. If you're new to trading, or trading order flow, I would always have everyone start on these because they're slow. You've got much more time to react, and you can take it easy, right? And if you have a bad day, in the 10 year, you'll probably lose about $100 or something. You know what I mean? So these are the same. They tend to work. I mean, I'm not going to go on about these. They're very slow markets, man. But this is a good way to start to learn it because it's slower. It's the book is so thick, you know. This is the 2, 5, 5 year, 30-year bond, and the 10 year. So they work in correlation, but they're good markets to start with, right? And they don't have as aggressive sweeps the same, and they tend to be a little bit more trendy. So that would be my advice for new people to start, because these are aggressive. Honestly, people that start trading and they start on NQ, I mean NQ, this is just my personal opinion and it's personal preference. NQ order flow is fucking really hard to read. I mean, look at look at the bid and offer here. You've got two bid, five bid, nothing bid. So anyone trades this price, this will tick down, for example. You know, the market traded like 13 contracts there and it's down three ticks. You know, ES and the bid and offer is far thicker. Far thicker. And then Treasuries obviously is just bananas, right? It's extremely thick. But that's what I'm saying. You're never going to have this ridiculous sweeps that's going to happen. So it depends on where you are in your trading journey, and it depends what your personal preference is. But I like to trade both. Um, Treasuries are hard to trade. You need to have the patience of a saint. But if you do get a trade right in, then they're quite simple. So, but they're good market to learn order flow in, because you've got tons of time to react. You know. So, are you just new to the channel, mate? I appreciate if you can like and subscribe and do all that cool YouTube stuff for me, please. And also anyone else that's not done so. I think we've got a bit of a loyal crowd in this evening, so you guys probably all have. Thank you, I appreciate that, man. So what would you say that parts of your trading that you need to improve on? And did you say you're trading MNQ? NQ's too big. Yeah. So you're trading MNQ. So I think no, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome, man. Look here, man. I've been doing this shit for 10 years, right? I've been trading a long time. Um, I've stared at these charts a long time. I've lost a lot of money, like we all have. It took me years to get it right. And I tried everything else like under the sun. So I've been trading OrderFlow now for years and years. And my my reasoning here for starting this is to try and reduce the learning curve for people. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to do any of this course nonsense. I run a tech company as well. Um, I trade also. I don't have the time to do this course bullshit, that everyone seems to do on YouTube. Um, it's just not my thing. I just want people to make money, man. Trading is probably is it's a fantastic industry. It's very difficult. It's you against yourself, but you need to give yourself a fighting chance, and you need to have the correct tools. Now, you need to first off make sure you've got the correct data. You need to make sure you've got MBO data. You need to make sure you've got a decent charting platform, and you need to be seeing the same things that large firms are seeing, and seeing the antics that they get up to, right? And as soon as you have access to that information, it's just a matter of you tweaking your brain and learning. Because the trouble is, what happens with everyone and why it takes them so long is because they strategy jump all the time. They go to a prop firm nowadays and they end up, failing a challenge, and then they end up jumping strategy. Prop firms are designed as a casino model so that you can lose. They're hard to pass, right? But with order flow, these firms are literally designed for scalping, right? You need to be in and out, and that's pretty much what you're doing here. You're looking to predict the next 5, 6, 10 ticks, as an example, as to what's going to happen. You're not taking these 50, 60, 70. Well, NQ you can, but in ES you're not. You're never going to get a straight dump 50, 60 ticks unless you just toss the coin for news. So if you get your principles correct, your risk in check, and if you're not good at managing risk, then set protocols in your with your broker or your charting software. So if you hit a certain loss limit for the day, um, you're out. You know, and maintain it that way if you're emotional. And I would say set yourself some hours to trade and really, really focus, man, because you can't just expect to walk up to the chart and say, oh, look, it's made a higher high and it's pulled back a little bit, let me buy. I see a lot of people doing that, and then they end up putting in hedges, or they've lost the trade, so they double down in the next one. Do you know what I mean? It's eventually going to blow out, to be honest. You want to learn order flow. You've been burnt many times by MNQ. You've seen many John Grady's videos about treasuries. Yeah, John's stuff's good. It's a little bit. I wouldn't say it's outdated because the concepts of the DOM are still great. Um, he's got some good videos about spoofing, which is very correct. Um, and the stuff that he says, I think John's concepts are exactly what I'm trying to say here. Is this is not really about the strategy, to be honest with you. It's more about understanding how the market moves, what the big firms are actually doing, and where they're leaving their footprint on the market, right? Because if you're not looking at order flow and you're not seeing what they're doing at each price, if you're just looking at candles, you've got no fucking idea what they're doing. None. You know, you've no idea why a candle went up. Was it actually fresh buying that came in, or was it the fact that the offer was just pulled? Because that's the one thing to remember here, right? For every buyer there has to be a seller, and for every seller there has to be a buyer, right? That saying is true, but it's not always true. You know, at the next price, there can be 200 contracts waiting to sell. As soon as buyers hit into that price, those 200 contracts could turn to 10. And then before you know it, that 10 is lifted and then you're at the next price. So actually, it's not been that there's tons of buying, there's just been no selling. There's been nothing there to stop it. And that's why pre-market, there's normally always a correction and pullback of pre-market if pre-market is net long. So, and the reason how to determine if it's net long is if from where the previous day closes, did you finish higher or did you finish lower? And the reason why there's a correction is because it does not cost market makers and firms a lot of money to drive price up because there's no volume, right? And then they actually get to then take their profits at open, and new fresh orders come in, the market settles for the day, and then you normally have a correction of pre-market. It probably happens, I would say, about 70% of the time if you go back in the charts and have a look of when the market was long or when the market was net short, pre-market, how often does it typically correct in that trading day? It's very frequent. But overall, the concepts that you learn, it's just a different way to think and look at the market, right? And it trains you to not look at it as it's random and so on. I just to be in the boat of, I know Trade in the Zone by Mark Douglas, fantastic guy. I've watched his webinars and stuff in the past. I'm of the degree that the market is not random. I suppose in a way it's random for us because um, when we enter in a trade, we need to be in the right side, and we need large participants to enter into that trade at the same time to move it. Because sadly, as much as the likes of ICT and all these people like to believe, we don't move the market. Anyone with a fucking slither of common sense realizes that retail does not move the market at all. Look at the COT report, the Commitment of Traders report that's released every Friday. Retail makes up such a small part of that that it's almost irrelevant, to be honest with you. You know, and now the fact that the majority of retail is now trading prop firm accounts, and the majority of prop firm accounts are not even fucking live anyway, it doesn't really make any difference, to be honest. You know, the sort of under 10 grand retail trader is now trading prop with, with the creation of all these new firms coming in, and the barrier to entry is now lower. So I would say that if you start looking at the market in this way, you're going to be in the market for longer. The longer you stay in the market and you get to cut your teeth in it, um, then the better likelihood you've got of being successful in this game. You know. So, what do you think of John Grady's stuff overall? It's pretty good. I've never actually taken any of the I've never taken a course or anything before. It's just been pain. It's just been pain and this learn from the markets, to be honest with you. Because that's the thing about trading. It's actually very much like technology development. You know, there's no handbook. Um, you only learn from trial and error and the pain that you go through. And you can't learn it. It's just experience, and that's what's so difficult about it. And now the fact that the barrier to entry to trade is so low, no wonder you're going to have so many people lose money, right? Because you've got people taking positions on TradingView and looking at random candles and expecting to make money. I mean, honestly, how is John in his room, looking at on his phone with TradingView, looking to buy NQ or ES or whatever, possibly going to make money over, Citadel that's got billions of pounds at their disposal, working the bid and offer for themselves and clients? It's not even the same world, right? Good. Yeah, I've watched a few of that dudes in the past, to be honest with you. Um, yeah, I mean, not that I want to talk bad about anyone, but he's just appeared like he wanted to start. His actual example trades and stuff he did was good, but uh, I checked out a number of the ones and it just turned into him shilling prop firms. To be honest with you, if you notice the last X amount of times he's posted stuff, it's just him shilling different prop firm accounts, right? Which is fair play. I mean, if that's what you're there to do, then sound, his video content is pretty good, and that's the one thing that, to be honest with you, I am, you know, you see my video content, it's just completely unfiltered. Um, I'm pretty much just streaming a screen and discussing the markets and where I can provide you value, right? It's none of this edited intros and outros stuff like that. I've not got any time to do that. Right. In this video, there should be a link to Sierra Charts. Um, there is a free trial with it. It's a really old. Well, I would say the website's really old, right? And it's not like you need to register and put in your card details or anything. It's that old. They don't even have a recurring billing method. If you want to, so say when it comes to my month to pay for Sierra Chart, I need to go on and load money onto their system. They don't even have a recurring payment method. It's like they're stuck in the 1980s, honestly. However, I'll do you a solid, mate. If you click on that link, it's free. Uh, Download an account and then join the Discord, and I'll send you these chart books for nothing. This I can give you these exact chart books. You need to get level 2 though. That's actually a question. Do you have a live futures account or anything? Are you with a prop firm or anything along those lines? If that would help you at all, but I can basically assist you out with these charts. I think you can actually get a free month of MBO data as well, like the full package. You don't need to pay a penny, so you can try it for a month for nothing, and you don't even need to load any card details in, as far as I'm aware. Yeah. But you'll need to get either Denali data feed or link it up to your prop firm account if you're trading that or whatever. You're just trying in the okay. So Apex, do you have it through Rhythmic or are you doing it through Tradeovate? Because that's going to be your problem, right? I don't think Tradeovate or Ninja, and I don't even think Ninja's that great, to be honest with you. I've never really heard anyone rave about that, if I'm honest. You're going to need to. Um, Whereabouts are you based, actually? That's a good question. Where are you based in the world, man? Oh, you have Rhythmic. Fucking right. Okay. So, if you're using Rhythmic for data, you're going to need to go and pay for L2 data with Apex and from Canada. Nice one. So you've got two ways to do it. You can go to option one, go and pay for Rhythmic L2 data with Apex. The only thing I would say is Rhythmic data is not fantastic. My honest opinion and what I use that is extremely efficient, take a little bit of pain to do, but if you go to Edge Clear, they clear you through Iron Beam. You don't need to open an account. Well, that's not true. You need to open an account, but you don't need to trade it. You can just go and deposit like $100 or something, and tell them that you're just looking to get access to cheaper data through Sierra. They'll probably onboard you in a couple of days, and then you can then get extremely cheap data and Denali data feed, and then you just use Rhythmic for the order routing, for example. That's probably the best way to do it. If that sounded extremely complicated, then you can just go and get L2 data, because you need L2 data in order to see the resting bid and offer. So you can probably understand why a majority of people don't have it, because it's a little bit of a faff to get it set up. I actually have L3, which is the MBO data. See the I've got it set to 50 lots or contracts minimum, so it only shows me a minimum of 50. And then on the Russell, NQ, and the Dow, I've got it set to a minimum of 30. So it only shows me when 30 contracts are sitting at a price, because I don't care about algorithms that have got 3 on the bid and offer or 2, right? So to be honest, first thing, I'm saying all this to you, man. Go and download Sierra charts, and I'll send you the chart books. So go click on the link for Sierra. I don't know if that's in the description. Let me just tell you if it is. Yeah. So the link in the description. It's a free trial. It's not even a trial, to be honest with you, because you don't even enter any details really. Download that, join the Discord, and I can ping you the charts, man. Right? For this, I'll just send you the chart book, but then you're not gonna be able to see the full DOM, because you don't have L2 data, right? So that's probably gives you a good head start, to be honest with you, man. If anyone else is watching that wants some assistance with that, it's all free to try it out. It just gives you the tools so that you can check out OrderFlow and see if it works for you or not. I would say that anyone that says OrderFlow doesn't, it's just not, it's just looked at it and thought, I don't know of any other strategy that you're able to, be able to draw this out and expect you can you can see it. Oh, really? Yeah, if you want to do that, mate, no problem. Go and get it sorted, and hopefully it helps you out, man. It's no problem. But yeah, we'll see where the market's gonna end. We'll see if our little lines that end in that range is likely gonna end right over here. But I'll be releasing a volume profile video, as I use that in my trading as well. It just gives me an idea of where the most volume is done in case I've missed it. It's literally the duplicate of what's on this chart. This is the whole day, mind you. This is the regular trading hours, and this is the this is pre-market, and pre-market disappears when the next day goes, you know. So, does anyone get any questions? Anything else they're confused on, or maybe not covered at all? Should give me some ideas for content, but as I said, I'm going to release the volume profile video tomorrow, and we'll maybe do some more about market profile. And the thing is, I'll need to maybe do some more videos about correlations and stuff. I want to try and give you guys the tools to do it, but it's maybe better if you just sit in the lives and watch. But we'll need to put out some more videos for you. Yeah, so if you watch, comment and let me know what your thoughts are. Watch the live order flow trade examples. It's the most recent video. Well, it won't be until I or release the new one tomorrow. And then if you want to watch how to read the DOM and how to set it all up and stuff in Sierra, you can have a look at that. And then what is market profile, I cover that and how to set it up in Sierra. I need to go into more granular detail about trade examples for market profile, but to be honest, I don't just trade market profile in itself. It gives me context, the same as volume profile, and then my ultimate decision for pressing on the mouse to buy or sell comes from what I see on order flow, right? My little rectangle boxes gives me an idea of where I expect sweeps to happen, and then if I see the behavior, like the market going aggressive into that level and dudes flashing prior, and I think there's a couple thousand contracts absorbed at that price, then you get filled and you've got a 5-6 tick stop, and then you're out for 15 ticks, and that's you done. It's painless. But everything is just everything is there to provide context, and one of the main concepts you need to learn is what day are you in. you know like people here buying the breakout are just, the market breaks here and are thinking, oh shit, this is going to the moon, and then they buy it, and then before they know it, they're stuffed and they have to liquidate. But anyone buying this when the day's in complete balance has lost their marbles. you know you need to think about what kind of day you're in. Like, for example, this day where the market, let me just put this in its own split profile. This is the trend day. From the market open, the first 30 minutes went bid, then we pulled back ever so slightly, and then it just one time framed pretty much every single session, or 30-minute session. From C, D, E, F period, we basically just went straight bids. These are the type of days that you do not fade. You know, these are the type of days that you do not break out. You know, again, when the market has this huge bid, my bias the next day is ultimately for the market to try and pull back and correct. And also another thing, just over years I've looked at this shit, is when the market is went straight bid like this, right, and just went up, there's not a whole lot of value built up here, and then the market will either take it, regain it back quickly to the downside, or we do like we're doing now, and we actually now trade out these levels, which in essence means the market is accepting these higher prices. So we're going to do, really one of two things. We're going to go pull back and sort of reclaim this level, either do that aggressively next week, or we're just going to go continue bid. But the market now, if it was to not accept these prices, it would have shit itself here, and we would be doing it back down to sort of retest. Let me get my another little rectangle. Would be to retest this sort of area down here. That's the single prints from the CPI day. You know, but we've consolidated now and accepted these prices. So next week we'll see what happens. You know, so leave some comments on the video if you watch over the weekend. Look for the next one to come out about volume profile, and I think I'm going to call it there. Make sure and join the Discord, everyone. If you've not hit the like button and the subscribe, you know that would be great if you could do that. If you're all feeling extra generous, there's a buy me a coffee where you can buy me a beer or coffee or whatever. I don't ask you to do that, but it's much appreciated if you do. All that shit gives me the motivation to continue trying to provide value to everyone. Um, and I'll be live. I'll potentially be live on Open. Probably won't take any positions, but it's always nice to try and discuss it open, where some people are steaming into the market and we're in like a 10 tick range. But if there is any value on Sunday Open, which is typically the market gaps up and we get a nice little sweep. So say for example, we close, just at this rectangle, for example, and then the market opens up and we gap above the range here, and then ultimately the market does its thing like we saw earlier, and then it'll go back and just fill the gap. That's when there's typically value. But if the market opens and it's like no gap at all, then I'm not trading it, to be honest. You need to be trading when the large traders are in, so that there's volume to move the market, to be honest. So that's pretty much the case. But anyways, I'm probably going to call it there. There's nothing serious that's going to happen in the next 15 minutes, unless Kim Jong Un from North Korea launches a missile or something. There's nothing drastic that's going to happen. So I'm probably going to be in Discord and we can chillax. Feel free to ask any questions. But I'll see you guys in the next live session. Okay. Hope everyone has a great evening. No problem, I sure will, man. Take care, guys. Have a good evening.